Evening had fallen on the small village, and the fog was shrouding the streets as if it were hiding many secrets beneath its sides. In Mary and Cotton's house, the place was quiet, except for the sound of the teaspoon hitting the walls of the cup. Mary Ann sat in front of little Charles Cotton, her stepson, who looked weak and exhausted, with half-open eyes as if sleep was chasing him and could not reach him. "Drink, my dear, this tea will make you better," Mary Ann said in a warm voice, pushing the cup towards the little one. The tea had its usual smell, but no one but Mary Ann knew that inside it was a deadly little secret, drops of colorless, tasteless arsenic. The little one reached for the cup hesitantly, but stopped, looking at Mary with frightened eyes. He did not know what was wrong with him, but he felt that this tea would not give him comfort. "What is the matter with you, little one?" Mary Ann asked, trying to hide her impatience. "I don't want tea," the little boy muttered in a low voice. Mary Ann smiled, but inside she was seething. Her plan couldn't be delayed. Her husband, Frederick Cotton, was beginning to doubt her actions. And the baby was the last obstacle to her getting the insurance. "But the doctor said you need tea to get better," she said, gently stroking his hair. Charles took the cup with a trembling hand, raised it to his lips, but at the last moment put it aside. "Mother," he said it hesitantly, even though she wasn't his real mother, "will you stay here with me?" "Of course, my dear. I will never leave you," she said, hiding behind her words a treacherous intention. At that moment, there was a knock at the door. Mary Ann froze. Who could it be at this time? She opened the door, and there stood the young doctor. Dr. Keeling stood in front of her, holding his bag in his hand, looking at her with stern eyes. "I came to check on little Charles," he said in a tone not devoid of doubt. Mary Ann slowly moved away from the door, making way for him, but for the first time she felt something like fear. The doctor entered the room, looked at the child, then at the cup of tea that had not been drunk. He walked slowly, lifted the cup and smelled it. "Did you make him tea yourself, Mary?" he asked suddenly, staring at her. "Yes, of course, as you asked," she answered quickly. But the doctor was not convinced. "I will take this cup with me for examination." Mary Ann felt as if the ground was shaking under her feet. Her plan had begun to collapse, and the night that had always hidden her had come, but this night, it had come to reveal it. The doctor came out carrying the cup, and closed the door behind him. Mary Ann looked at Charles, who had returned to throw himself on the pillow, exhausted, but alive. She sat by the fireplace, staring into the fire, realizing that this night might be her last night of freedom. She didn't know then that this last tea that she failed to make the child's death would be the beginning of her end.